All right. Well, good morning, everybody. Good afternoon. Good evening, depending on where you're at. We have Sean and I have a pretty cool class. I think we just did our second rehearsal this morning beforehand, and it's going to be fun. We're going to hopefully play a lot of music, and we're going to do something that we've done in some variation in the past. But today's class is about exploring rhythm styles and finding styles and basically everything wrapped around rhythm styles because most people that enjoy the hobby of music making, the biggest part of it is the rhythm styles and getting the use out of those. So I'm going to just open up with a song, which is also part of the class today. So I'll open up with a little number for you and we'll have a little fun. Take notes because we're going to give you a lot of information here. Now, I'm not going to play what's up here right now. So let me do this, do that, and then an intro, and here we go. Thank you, folks. Oh, you were thinking what I was thinking, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, so folks, I'm going to turn it over to Sean in just a moment. Before I did, the name of the song I played, any guesses? Feel free to unmute yourself. Speak now.
Cabaret.
Cabaret and Bill Bailey. Now, the style that I use, any guesses on the rhythm style that I used? Well, I'll give you a hint. Cabaret was the style, and obviously cabaret, the rhythm style is perfect for the song cabaret. And then partway through, I just segue to another style. Now, a lot of you know that we do that a lot. We'll take a signature style and then we'll play the song, or sometimes they work great for other songs. And so we're going to give you some of that as we go today as well. The other thing I did, and I may not do this a lot throughout the show, I may or may not, but if you see me doing it, or Sean, depending on the instrument you own, I use the fake it a lot. And what I did when I was playing that is I turned on the fake it and I assigned it to the upper keyboard, and then I continued playing the melody there. So in case you were wondering what I was doing there, I put on the fake it part way through. I had the clarinet do its little fake it, and then I continued the melody, and I had a little fun with that. So, Mr. Sean.
That's great. And so what the plan is for today, this is going to be fun. We're going to go through a lot of different things. So like you said, take some notes. You'll get some good ideas, hopefully, today. But what we're going to talk about is how to find your rhythm styles, because some people don't even realize there's multiple ways to find these things. And then we're going to show you also how to pick one, and you can use it for, a signature style, like maybe for a specific song like Cabaret that he just did. And we'll also give you some alternative songs that maybe, you think, well, I can't use that rhythm. It's not for this song. You'll find a way. So we'll show you some different things as far as that goes. But first, let me show you this here. Hopefully you all know about this. This is kind of what your panel looks like on the left side. So how to find a rhythm style. You should all know this. It kind of goes by genre is what these buttons are called. Genres or styles of music. And obviously, when you click on a button, like in this example, it says country, you get a whole page on the screen of different country rhythms. And now you have some that might say, easy country, jug band, basic country. Those are just kind of general rhythms. And then you see some where it kind of gives you maybe gives you some ideas like Ring of Cash or Tennessee Tons. They might make you think of a certain song. And those are called signature styles. So they're made for specific songs. But we're going to show you today you can use those for other songs as well. But this is the easiest way to find a rhythm. So, for example, if you're sitting at your instrument, you want to play this, Johnny Cash song, you put the song in front of you and you touch the button that says country, So that's the easiest way to find, and then just kind of cycle through some of those rhythms. And really explore them. That's the most fun part of getting a new instrument or just having one of these in general. Just kind of you get to explore and see what's in there. So when you touch these buttons, it pops up with different rhythms. Now, the best part of having an EX instrument, most of you on here probably have one. If you don't, that's okay. You can get one soon. But we have a lot of students with these EX instruments who might not know some of these special features we're going to show you. And one of them I'll just kind of start right away and show you. It's called Style Suites. This is on your touch screen. You see right in the center right, there's a button for Style Suites. This is one of my favorite buttons to use. If you don't use it, try it. It's just a different way of breaking down all those style buttons, like I just showed, standards, country, Broadway. Maybe there's a specific song you want to play, but you don't know which button to press. Well, that's what Style Suites is for, and when you touch it, it breaks down all your rhythm styles into other types of categories. So you can look through world, there's one called Big Band Era, kids styles, which has all the goofy fun stuff, like the chicken dance and things like that. And then if you go to the next page, there's even more of them. You can try to find a good rhythm to go based on decades. So if you're going to play a song from the 1970s, you have a style suite called 1970s, or orchestral, all the nice smooth orchestra type rhythms, romantic rhythms. And then this is, we've been using this a lot because we just got this instrument in. We have a Grand Marquis here, and there's one called Grand Marquis or Marquis. So if you have those instruments and they're new to you, you can kind of look through those style suites, and it just pulls up a list of all the new rhythms. So all the new Grand Marquis rhythms, or all the Marquis rhythms, songs from the 20s and 40s, So it's a really, really good way to kind of break down your rhythms in different ways. Does anyone have any questions on that? I know some people I've talked to don't even know they have that, and it's just a really, really good way to explore. So if there aren't any questions, I'll just kind of move on and show you our first example. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pick a song, and I've just kind of grown to like this song. It's called Johnny Angel. It's a nice, pretty song from the 1960s. And what they have on this instrument here is I have a signature style, and not just a signature style. It's called a real style called Johnny Angel. And what I do with that is I turn on the rhythm, and it's made specifically for that song, and it sounds fantastic. So let's just listen to that real quick, and then I'm going to give you some alternatives that you can do. So here's the Johnny Angel rhythm, and I'll just do this so it It's a little bit different here. There we go. So here's the Johnny Angel rhythm. So it's a really fun one.
That crowd
Yeah,
really liked that song, apparently.
yeah, it's a pretty song. And what's nice is the signature styles that you have, and boy, do you have a bunch of them in these EX instruments. What's really fun, what I love to do, is you might think of some other songs that might sound good with it. What the heck? There might be some other songs that are really good with those signature styles, and we're going to show you some examples. That particular rhythm, if I just speed it up a little bit, and that's about it, and I just leave it the same, I'm just going to play a French horn on the top and maybe some strings on, or sorry, French horn on the bottom and strings on the top, and I can play a whole different song just using that same rhythm. Let's do this one, for example. So totally different sound, but it sounds fantastic. A different song. Oh, thank you.
Oh, they like that over here.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite songs by a guy named Sam Cooke. But you can think, oh, that's also from the 60s, and it has a similar type rhythm. So we're going to go through some more examples just like that. And I'm going to throw it back to Robert because I think he has one he'd like to show you too.
Yeah, how about a little country music? What do you say? Thumbs up, everybody?
I gave
Okay,
two
good.
thumbs.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a song here. I got my music up here. The song is called Ace in the Hole. Anybody familiar with the song Ace in the Hole? I think many of you know George Strait performed this number. And so the style I'm going to use is called Ace in the Hole. I saw some of you saying it as I was doing it, but I'm going to have some fun with this song, and then I'm going to come back and play some other music with it. But let's start off with the way it originally is done. Here we go. So that's obviously a great style for that. Yes, 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 yes. That's also obviously perfect for that. But if I put on the exact same style, and then I put on my intro too, and I put on vintage style setup, then we can do some fun things like this. Woo! Yeehaw! Yeah. Oh yeah. Woo! That was fun. I've never used that ending before on that. That was just the intro to and ending to. I'm going to use that one a lot
Yeah.
more now. I'm having fun.
Yeah,
I hope you are too.
that's another good idea with the if you have intro 1 and 2, which pretty much everybody in here should. If you notice, a lot of the time when you use a signature style like he just did for Ace in the Hole, when you do intro 1, it's exactly like Ace in the Hole. If you use intro or ending 2, generic, a lot more just good for anything. So hopefully you're getting some ideas from this, because we're going to go through a few different things to just kind of spark some ideas with you. What I was going to say is I'm going to do some Latin music now, and we're going to give you some homework too, I think, with this. We'll remind you at the end, but this is a really fun thing to do, is to pick a rhythm, maybe something that's a signature style, something made for something else. Like I'm going to use one called Swaying Latin, and it's for the song Sway. And what's really fun to do with any of these styles that we're going to be doing today is just to kind of think, now, what else would sound good with this? So when you're sitting at home and you play through one of the rhythms, you can also think, okay, let me look through my music here and see what else I can do. That'd be your homework. It'll be fun. So I'm going to do that here to kind of show you what I mean. So here's Sway with the rhythm Swaying Latin. That's on the marquee. So here we go. So that's if I play Sway. Whoop, got the wrong camera there. There we go. So that is made for that specific song. What's great is you can think, ooh, what other Latin songs can I play with that? And this is by far my all-time favorite rhythm to use for the song Bésame Mucho. And you've all heard that before. And what's really fun is it's just kind of a more upbeat way to play it rather than just a straight bossa nova. You got swaying Latin, and I'm just going to use the same sounds and setup. I'm not going to change a thing. So here we go. Here's Besame Mucho with the same style. I'm going to use intro 2, so it sounds completely different.
Ooh.
If I press alter style, so completely different feel, but the same rhythm. And like I said, too, I didn't change a thing. I just played it exactly as is, and it just sounds way different when you play a different song. But same style. It's the best one to play, Besame Mucho. So if you haven't tried that, that's a fun one.
That's awesome. Now, I'm a firm believer that if everybody's taking really good notes today, they're going to really be able to do everything we're telling them. Oh, by the way, I got to back up from, I forgot to tell you what song I played earlier. You might have caught on to it when I did the Ace in the Hole style, and then I played Ace in the Hole, and I went back and I played 2 songs. The 2 songs that I played, by the way, were Hey Good Looking and Anytime. So if you want to make a note of that. But I'm going to do something a little bit different for this song. What we've been doing so far is choosing a song that complements the signature style, or every verse is the same, okay? So, we had Cabaret is what I opened up with, so I opened up with the song Cabaret. Johnny Angel, he did Johnny Angel, and then we showed some other songs that worked nicely with that, et cetera, et cetera. Well, this time I'm going to use a signature style, a real style, but I'm not going to play the song that it's designed for first. I'm going to actually do it in reverse. I'm going to actually play an alternative song that works great with the styles, because what we've been showing you is how you can use these signature styles and real styles for a bunch of other songs. So this one here, I want to see if anybody can figure it out. Now, I'll give you a hint. Grand Marquis Ari owners, you might know this if you have this style, but I'll give you a hint. It's a real style. That's all I'll tell you, okay? But I'm going to play a song for you, and let's see if you can guess what it is when I'm done, by the time I'm done playing. So here we go.
That was great. I've got a suggestion for the title for that. You could call it "Just a Closer Rock with Thee."
Yeah, I wanted to jazz it up a little bit. Everybody, I've heard Just a Closer Walk with Thee done gospel. I've heard it done soft and easy. I've heard it done as a swing, like a Pete Fountain kind of a style. But the song was obviously Just a Closer Walk with Thee. The name of the style, anybody know what style I used? Any guesses? This is going to really stump you. Huh? Jerome, do you know what style I used?
Yeah, you use the monkeys.
He knows because he's heard me practicing that style. The style I used was called I'm a Believer. The song would normally be I'm a Believer by the Monkees. So that same style, I'll just play a little bit of it so you can hear it. This is the intro one. So I used that exact same style to play Just a Closer Walk with Thee. The only difference was I used the intro two, and they had a couple. When I pulled up the preset information for that style, it gave me some really nice jazz organs in there. There was a growl saxophone that I used, and was having a lot of fun with that. So these styles can be used. All of the styles that we're talking about today can be used multiple different ways. Now, because this is an EX class, EX being Grand Marquis, Marquis, and Aria, okay? Sean earlier alluded to finding styles via the panel, the style list. There's multiple ways, but I want to give you another way of finding what we called the new styles on those models when the organ was introduced, okay? For example, when the Marquis was introduced, it was pretty cool because there was a couple ways to find some of the new styles. The style suites button that Sean had, but there was another way. A lot of you have a button right here labeled more, okay? And when you touch more, you have, and it says several pages there, more 1, 2, 3, etc. The new Marquis styles that were introduced when the Marquis was introduced was on more 4, 5, and 6. Okay. When the Grand Marquis was introduced, they added in the same category 7 and 8. That's how we got all those new styles in there, many of which you heard today. And then when the Aria was introduced, there was a button that was put up here in the top left corner called Top Hits. So for you Aria owners, that there was a button there before, they replaced it with Top Hits. Where did that button go? We'll have to tell them before the class is up, I think, Sean. Otherwise, we'll be mean. We'll be nice and tell you.
We can do that.
Yeah. So just another way of finding what we call the new styles. But keep in mind, just what I mentioned, that's not counting all the other styles that you have. So you still have all of the styles from the Liberty, the Patriot, the Symphony. Those were all still in there as well.
Yeah, and there's an even easier way now to find those. So what's really cool, too, if you have an EX series, I believe, I think this is on the Grand Marquis and Aria part, but you have a button on the screen this is super handy, called classic styles. So we talked about a few ways. We talked about using the panel, the style suites, and then here's another way, just a different way to organize the rhythms in your instrument. So what classic styles does is it brings up a screen on the bottom there that gives you all the buttons that you would see
Ooh.
on the A series organ. So if you
That's
had
one of those ooh and ah moments. You know which one I
ooh,
have a hard time finding? I don't know why, but I keep forgetting. I use this example all the time, and you figure by now I would know where it's at. Un- no pun intended, but I forgot where unforgotten was. The unforgotten style. I know it was in the previous models. It was the pop button.
mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
if
and I
I
think
press
now
that,
it's in like smooth or something. I think.
but if I push the pop button on the classic styles, because that's the classic styles panel, it'll actually pull up. Oh, there it is. All of the
Yep.
styles where are listed. So
Mhm.
it'll also pull it up on the panel when you select that, right?
So yeah, so the purpose of this is just to make it another way to find everything. So if you're maybe in your notes, maybe you traded up to a marquee or a grand marquee at some point, and you think, well, darn it, on these notes I wrote that unforgotten is in the pop button. Where's my pop button? It's gone. Well, no, you still have it in the screen. So it's the same rhythms, just organized differently. So it makes it a lot easier to find things. Uh, a lot of upgrades, people worry that, oh, I have to learn everything all over again. I've got to learn this. I've got to learn that. They made it so easy by giving you so many different ways to find things. So you've, like we said, just to recap, we have the panel. You can find it with these buttons. Just all your rhythms are right there. You can use your style suites, just different ways of organizing those buttons. And then last, as we just said, the classic styles button, which just brings them all up in a different format on the bottom. So endless ways to kind of find what you're looking for. So let's do this here. I'm going to do another example. Before I do we have any questions so far of anything we've talked about? Style suites or?
Ron,
Yeah.
you can also, if you don't know what style to use, put it in the alphabetical and pull it up, and it'll automatically go to whatever it's supposed to go to on the panel.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. So that's with the style suites as well. There's one of those buttons is actually called All Styles. So that will bring up an alphabetical list of every single rhythm in here. So
I mean on the home page. On the home page, press alphabetical.
Oh, like the keypad. Yeah.
Under
Yeah,
keypad.
you could do that too if there's something you're looking for unforgotten. Yeah, you can touch keypad, the letter U, and then it takes you right to unforgotten, So, yep, that is another way. Now I don't have to say that later. We already said it, so that's good. Okay, any other questions? Okay. So I'll do another example here because this is a great way to just explore your rhythms, is just to put one on, play what you think is supposed to go with it, and then think, what else can I do? I have a great example here because I'm going to do one. This is another kind of newer style called PE 6500, Pennsylvania 6500. And I bet that'll sound really good. Or not 6500, 65,000. I got my decimal in the wrong place there. So Pennsylvania 65,000. And when I play that, if I use introduction number 1, it's very specific for Pennsylvania 65,000. So let's do that. There's Glenn.
Pennsylvania,
There we go.
6,500.
Okay.
That was a round of applause from me and Jerome for
Oh,
saying
thank
that at
you.
the right time.
You guys have a lot of hands. That's why you're so good. Uh, so that's Pennsylvania 6 5000. That's the signature style for that. Sounds perfect. Now, another way to explore your rhythms is, like we said, put one on and you can try. You have a couple buttons where you can change what your band is doing. Do you guys know what those buttons are called? How can I make them do something different? My backing band.
The altar.
Hey, there we go. Who said that? Is that Gary? Great. Alter style, yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that same rhythm, my Glenn Miller, Pennsylvania 6 5000. I'm going to put my alter style on, and I'm going to tell the drummer to do something different as well. So alter style, drum variation, and then I get a whole different feel. So now I can play something like maybe Little Brown Jug. So that can be really, really fun, is to go through almost, I mean, maybe not spend all day on it, but to go through your rhythms and just say, oh, this is made for that song. Well, let's put on the alter style or the drum variation and then see what it sounds like.
That's a great big band style. You know, you inspired me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, since you're on the big band mood, I'm going to play another big band style I love. Now, this is great because there's been many great artists and crooners over the years that have sung the song, I've Got the World on a String. I'm going to play Michael Bublé's version, and there was a style that was introduced dedicated to him called Got Swing, question mark. So I'm going to play I've Got the World on a String. When you listen closely in the introduction, when Bill Curry designed this, I think what he was trying to do is mimic the intro of that song. They say the singers, the band members say, "Hey, Michael, come out, let's play," or "Come out, let's swing." I forget what the actual, but something like that. But listen to the voices in the introduction. Now, I'm not going to tell you the song I'm going to play. The other alternative songs, I'm just going to go into it because sometimes I like to do medleys, and I'll just go right into those. So listen closely. We're going to have a little fun with this here, and talk about totally different direction. So I'll start off with the signature style, Got Swing for the song, I've Got the World on a String, and then I'll switch to two other great songs that most people may not think about using for this style. Here we go. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of an interesting medley. I've got the World on a String, Night Train. Isn't that kind of like a stripper type song? And then I went to Santa Claus is Coming to Town. That's because Santa Claus used to hang out at the stripper clubs until Mrs. Claus got a hold of him. And she said, I've got him on a string.
That was good.
Oh, the things I come up with in the moment. Oh, this is being
Merry
recorded.
Christmas.
Oh, my goodness.
Ho,
Back to you.
ho, ho. All right. Yeah, that's a fantastic style. For some reason, that's one of my favorites on the marquee. I don't know why it's called. So it's called "Got Swing" with a question mark. I always think of those 1980s milk ads for Got Milk every time. So whenever I play "Got Swing," I just want a glass of milk for some reason. But that's a great rhythm to play with. Those specific songs there. And let me see, what was I going to do next? Let's do this. I'm going to show a new feature. Just another way. I think I have time for this.
Oh, you got time for this and
go ahead,
everything
go ahead.
else we talked about too.
Perfect. So just one more way here we've got to kind of organize your rhythm styles. So what we've been doing is kind of going through a lot of them and picking some of our favorites and showing that you can kind of use them for anything you want. If you find a rhythm that you really like, you can save it. On your panel, you have a button called Favorites. Might be a little hard to see there. But if you look to the left, there's a button that says Favorites. You can actually store your most popular to you rhythms. So if you use a certain rhythm every day and you don't want to have to go, standards, next page, things like that, or go through all the hassle to find them, you can go to your Favorites button, and it's telling you right here how to change them. So that's in your manuals as well, but it's a fantastic button. It's right over here on the panel. If you have, I think, an aria, it's actually on your screen. It says Favorites on the bottom. And the reason for that, to kind of answer what Robert mentioned earlier, they changed on the aria this Favorites button. They got rid of it and they put top hits. So all the new aria rhythms are in one spot. So instead they just put it on the screen, Favorites. So it's on the screen for aria. If you have marquee or grand marquee, the Favorites button's right here. And all you do is you look at your screen and it gives you a list of your favorite rhythms. If you want to change them, you touch it and scroll to a different rhythm. That's it. And then it stays there. So if you want something in there, you just put it in there and leave it. One of my favorites, one of my all-time favorite rhythms on any instrument, it's something I've been playing around with a lot lately. It's called light big band. So this is a rhythm where if you think you like big band, we just played a couple big band tunes, but maybe there's too much going on in the background, too many things going on. Light big band is a fantastic option for you because you get a really smooth feel with just enough. There are things going on in the background. It's just not too much. So if I play that, it pairs up perfectly with the song At Last, which also Glenn Miller had a popular version of that. Here's what it sounds like. I'm going to take this same rhythm, and you can kind of see what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to change it up a little bit. I'm going to tell the drummer to do something different. I'm going to take out some of those backing band members, maybe speed it up a little bit. And now I can play a totally different song with a totally different feel. So let's go minor. drum variation. And they even put some new sounds in here. There we go. So just have a little fun with it. Pick out your rhythm. It sounds great. And just play with your drum variations, alter styles. It'll give you some more ideas, some different songs you can play. That was You Don't Own Me. Another one of my favorites. Leslie Gore, I believe. So, what do you got for us, Robert? I think you're muted there.
Me. That was all sorts of beauteousness. Well, I got a couple things because I think I'm going to play another song. Then I got a quick announcement, and then I'm going to have you show one more song, an example. But I did some country music earlier, and there's some country songs out there that are a little on the slower side. So this one is great because if you like country music, if you don't like country music, I'm going to have, I have this on my favorites. Here we go. The style I'm going to use is called Could I Have This Dance? The song I'm going to play is Could I Have This Dance? I don't know if you could guess that. And then I in some of my demonstrations of the Grand Marquis recently, I fell in love playing another song with this style. So you'll hear it, see if you can guess it. So here we go. Oh, that song is it's like I'm laying on my back. I got tears in my ears, laying on my back kind of country. Ooh, that's okay. You guys didn't feel sad. You guys were all laughing at me. Okay. Sean's got one more example. Pretty cool. And it's funny because I heard him do this recently, and that same day I was in the Fry's grocery store and I heard the exact same song playing. I was, wow. But anyway, so I just got a message from someone to ask if we were going to have a PDF. Was that you, Suzanne?
I think a PDF of that. I put it's kind of instructions in the chat on how to save your favorites.
Yeah, it's a PNG file. Do you have it in PDF?
No, I can find that maybe, but no.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure that everyone has a way of getting our notes from today. Is I have it kind of typed up. First thing I'm going to do is every Sunday I always send out a reminder of the weekly classes and what have you. When you get that email, make sure to look towards the bottom. I'm going to add a button, and everything we talked about today, I'm going to put an attachment in there for that, okay? So in other words, if we said this style with this song, I'm going to have that all in there just in case, so you have a good way of going back and looking back at your notes. I'm going to mention some of the features that he talked about today. I'm not going to put all the handouts he had, but I will have what we discussed. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is before Sunday, I'm going to put it up on our Patreon page. Now, if you're not familiar with Patreon, if you go to patreon.com/Fletcher Music Centers, there's a page that has all of that information. And you'll see here, I'm not signed in. So if you're not signed in, if you're not a patron, some videos and content is available, some isn't, some aren't, okay, et cetera, et cetera. So if I were to sign in as an example, log in, don't look at my password, I'll tell you. Okay.
I love Sean too, I think.
Yeah, let's see. Where's using there it is. That one I think is the one that I sign in with. And when I do, you'll notice that all of a sudden everything becomes available now. Okay, because I'm a patron to our Patreon channel. All right, and if you're not sure how to get there, also if you go to our website at FletcherMusic.com, at the very top here, at our homepage, or actually anywhere, you'll see this little icon here. That's a Patreon logo. You can click on that and it'll bring you right to our Patreon page. Okay, so when you get there, it'll have an option to download the PDF. Like some of these have PDFs. Maybe Sean can send me that information in PDF and I'll attach it to our Patreon. So we'll have that up in a few days. All right. Last but not least, and we're going to have Sean close off with a fun song. But so Sean, I think when I do turn it over to you, what you probably want to do is tell him the songs first before you do it.
Sure.
And then he'll finish up with that. And as many of you know, the reason why we did what we did today is because this instrument actually belongs to one of our students here in Tucson. And he agreed that when he got his Grand Marquis, he said, I'll let you use it for a while, but I think he wants to play on it now. So we're gonna return that, and pretty soon the one that Sean has is going to be going away. And so we wanted to have an opportunity to do a class. Well, we had these fabulous EX instruments. By the way, we've been playing. What have you been playing on today? What instrument, Sean?
This is the Grand Marquis Luxury Edition.
Oh my goodness! Guess what I'm playing on though? A Grand Marquis Luxury Edition. Ooh, wait. If you haven't heard, some of you may know this, may not. If you don't know this, if you have a Marquis, and there's a lot of you here that have Marquis, Grand Marquis, arias, but if you have a Marquis, we now have the ability to be able to take your Marquis and fully convert it into a Grand Marquis Luxury Edition, just like the original was back in 2017. So I'm going to encourage you to, if you're curious, reach out to your personal assistant and they can tell you more about that. It's been a huge success. So far, we've done nearly 24 conversions in less than 30 days. And it's significantly less than what we used to charge 4 or 5 years ago. With that said, I'm going to turn it over to Sean. Go ahead and turn it over to you, Sean. Say something as you're getting set up. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. And actually, I'm going to do this. Go
Okay.
ahead. Go ahead and
Okay.
take over. I'll do it at the very end.
Okay, so stick around. We got more. So hopefully you learned something today and at least got some ideas. And that's your homework, is to kind of go through and explore these rhythms that you have and find a couple and say, I'm going to play a different song with that than what's intended. And it's a lot of fun. You'll find some cool stuff in there if you just explore. So I'm going to play another new light style on these Grand Marquis here called Light Shuffle, which pairs perfectly with the song Build Me Up, Buttercup. So that's from the 60s as well. And then I'm going to play a surprise tune after that, and I'll just kind of let you guess what it is. I'll do that. So let me switch this here, give you an introduction, and you'll recognize it right away. Now, I'm going to put on my altar style drum variation, slow them down a little bit, and let's do something completely different. Let me find a good sound. There we go. See if you can guess this song. Can anybody tell me what that was?
Magic moments.
Magic
Magic
moments.
moments.
Wow.
Yeah, perfect for that.
We
Just
got some
light
good
shuffle.
we've got some good guessers here. Well, folks, we want to thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed the show. We hope you learned something. And I'll have all of this information to you one way or the other. Hopefully you took good notes. And I'll also get it to you via our Patreon. I'll send it out in the email. I'll send it on a pigeon, whatever it takes. So thank you so much. Stay safe. Keep playing music, and mwah.
Good class.